All right, Meme Squad, I hope you brought your sandwiches with you because we are not going back home for a while. Now let's press on. And wait, who ate my sandwiches?
Wait, wait, hold on. Since we're playing as Lightning now.
No,
sorry. Tio, Alicia's dead. Well, okay, technically she's alive at this point, but, you know, she's literally the character who was introduced to die in the tunnel.
Well, I'm sure about that. Does this take place before or after Run Shadow?
Before. This is like the early years. Run Shadow's like 9 years after E-Day.
Okay, then.
But yeah,
Teo, just call her Lightning. That's what I call her.
It's funny though. You literally mistook her for. Okay, so congrats to you. You managed to remember that character's name from the DLC campaign.
The point still stands, well, yeah, this was starting over here, you know, testimony, so I guess it wasn't Baird's turn anymore.
That reminds me, I mean, since it's now
ammo, no long shots, and additional reavers. Yeah, no thanks.
So since it's now Sophia running this playthrough, who should introduce the parts now?
I guess you can try your best Lightning impersonation. Go ahead.
I called dibs for the.
Pardu.
Oh.
Pardu.
Sorry, Joel?
Pardu.
Yeah, the Soviet.
Yeah, Teo can be Paddock.
Now I wonder, which Lightning impression should I go for? Lightning in Final Fantasy 13? Lightning in Final Fantasy 13?
13-1. She definitely sounds more 13 like her 13-1 performance.
So
Jesus Christ, he's ganking.
So definitely not how she acts in Lightning Returns. Got it.
No. To her credit, the voice actress, you can tell she's at the very least trying. So,
Pedro,
don't you want to?
Even if the script doesn't really give her much.
But Pedro, don't you want to hear Meow Meow Choco Child repeated ad nauseum by Ali Healy's?
No.
Okay, now to her credit, she was directed to play Lightning the way she did in Lightning Returns because supposedly...
wasn't that a plot point?
Yes, that Lightning had lost her
They've actually made a plot point to the blandness of a character.
Wow.
That's like okay, I'm not sure if that's a better explanation or a worse one for a character having a trait that fans didn't really like, as Rey did in Rise of Skywalker.
That's also the thing with in Lightning Returns. It's also contradicted in several parts where Lightning clearly shows some kind of emotions where she's not supposed to.
Well, that's the thing. They also do this kind of arc for her where the reason she's like that is because secretly God took away how she, her original younger, more cheerful stuff, and later at the end it's revealed that Lumina, aka the antagonist of the game, is revealed to be a personification of her younger self, and then she goes back into Lightning's body, and thanks to that, she's back in touch with her childhood self. And blah, blah,
basically, it's Toriyama and Nojima trying to referencing Xenogears and failing miserably because that's not how psychology works.
Actually, Nojima did not work in Lightning Return. The only game he worked
whoever was the writer then.
I forgot his name. Daisuke Watanabe. That's it. Both him and Daisuke Watanabe wrote that game. No, Teo. The only involvement Nojima had in the 13 trilogy was coming up with the basic concepts for 13-1, but that's it. He didn't actually write any of the characters or stories.
My point, at the end of the day, my point still was the fact that Lightning Returns tried very hard to reference the psychological intern debate that Faye had, the protagonist of the Xenogears had, with the whole ID, ego, and super ego clash, and just transformed it into a sappy teen drama, miserable plot point.
Yeah, there's a particular game that I love that does that much better as well, and it's not even an RPG. But again, I'm not gonna say which because spoilers.
Okay.
But yeah, go ahead, Jova. From this point on, you can lead the playthrough using your best 13-1 Lightning impression.
Great.
Really? Well, in that case, I'm no one's slave.
Go. Yeah, since you didn't get a chance to, and we're kind of not doing anything right now, go ahead and do a little side intro for this part. Why not?
Oh, all right then. Well, welcome to the next part of Gears of War Judgment. Now, I know that there's a lot of things that you don't know yet, but I have to let you know that I don't know yet.
You don't know yet.
I don't know yet.
All right.
First
that's
class
the
writing
section.
right there.
Yeah, first class writing.
Basic. I kid you not, Dribs. A lot of 13.
I think he's burped.
He's burped.
Well, I might as well say a lot of 13 Spot can pretty much be summed up as: Are we the
What's the
bad
plot?
guys?
I don't know.
No. Well, not just that, but it also amounts to: Are we the bad guys? I don't know yet. You don't know yet. I don't know yet.
Oh my god, we're still
I'm
doing
surprised
this.
that wasn't. I'm surprised that wasn't a subtitle for the game.
It boils down to this, Dwibs. The writing in 13.1 is so shitty that even the characters complain about it. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
Multiple times, mind you, at several points in the game. It's not like a passing drab moment. No. It's a very recurring thing.
Like, it makes you wonder if, like, one of the screenwriters secretly hated the story, so he wrote all the dialogue he could to stealthily...
Considering
criticize
Java
it.
Bandit's a turkey that took, like, what, 7 years to come out? Or no, that's right, 4 years to come out, you know. I do wonder if at some point someone in the team had some resentment.
Yeah, there's like the. Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, I mean, you could probably. You could probably.
Yeah, no, fuck you. Moving on.
Yeah, you could probably sum up the entirety of 2010 with that sentiment for Final Fantasy.
Oh, wow. I gotta say, Final Fantasy had quite a deep hole that thankfully it got itself out of.
There was this. Hell, I watched this documentary about 14, and 14 was in such a bad state, and the developers, well, some of them, were so disenchanted with 1.0. Apparently, one guy sent this email out to the entire team expressing how bad everything was turning out and how frustrated he was.
I really need to look into some of those documentaries.
They're not playing it amongst each other too. It's just because of the characters were like amalgamating, clipping to each other, so it makes it look like that.
Okay.
When Clipsters write a better narrative.
They're all locusts, so they have no reason to fight amongst each other.
Well, to be fair, some of them do fight for superiority.
Well, they fight for superiority against the Lambent, though. Like, I mean,
well, not only that,
the
but
locusts never actually fight amongst themselves. They're all
actually, while I
was
was on the Gears Wiki, in one of the previous parts, I did check. It turns out that after Gears 2, the actual main locus splits between two separate factions. You know, one that remains loyal to the Queen, and the other who just remain on their own.
Huh. Well, that never gets brought up in any of the games, so whatever.
okay, the music here sounds nice enough, I guess.
The only divide between the locust that actually shows up in the games is the fact that there's lambents. That's basically it. Alright, so yeah, let's use this turret. The primary objective right now is to locate Professor Elliott's laboratory because he's the one who came up with the lightmass missile, and that might help us defeat the locust.
Also, I will say these waves, at least for 2010, there was a minor slight mitigation for at least for the West, because at the at the beginning of October 2010, the West got Final Fantasy: The 4 Heroes of Light released, and it actually was way better than 13 and Vanilla 14.
Yeah, it was. Well, remember. Well,
I never even heard of that one till you just mentioned it.
It's because it's actually Dwibs, the first game made by Tomoya Azano's team, aka the team that went on to make Brave of the Fall.
Basically, Dwibs' spiritual predecessor to Brave of the Fall. So.
Think of Tomoya Azano as the Christian Whitehead of the Final Fantasy series. He's basically the one doing classic style Final Fantasy games for the old ones who prefer Final Fantasy games that way.
So it's so what? It's the plot of that game loop halfway through as well.
No, fortunately he dropped that crap after Brave of the Fall 1.
Also, never leave it down with.
Well, I mean, that far, well, all that high because the game moves halfway through.
I love how I was shooting him from so close that he was literally bleeding out his ass.
Right on his ass. Also, you're low on ammunition.
Yeah, this was a new type of locust they introduced in this game and never really gets bring up again. This skinny locust that somehow hulks up into a red, really strong locust, so you have to be careful with him because he can kill you quickly through his physical attacks.
Now see, Epic Game Studio, there's something kind of new, sort of.
Oh, never mind. They're already dead.
Oh.
Well, my companions are fortunately reasonably effective too, so.
So there I was. We had discovered a new variant of locust there, one that can literally roid out before your very eyes. It was weird, to say the least. Baird had a lot to snark about it, of course.
Meanwhile, I'm just standing here wondering, who are you again?
Sophia Hendrick. She's a cadet.
That's
and that's basically all there is to her character.
Wow, I could actually, I know you made the Lightning comparison, but I swear I can name more character traits Lightning has than this guy, than what the other one does, and I've barely even seen Lightning.
Okay, dudes. Allow me to sum up. Sophia Hendricks is very intricate and wonderfully laid out character arc. Should I follow orders, or should I follow the should I follow the squad? That's pretty much it.
That's the interesting thing, because while the dialogue was bad in 13.1, you could tell that in 13.1 they were trying to make Lightning kind of like a female Gears type character, where because there's moments like, for example, where one of the soldiers is telling Lightning to hands up and shit, and then she goes, nice gun, and then she takes her gun away with a kick and stuff. So you can tell in 13.1 they were kind of trying to make her a wisecracker type of character. So you'd think they would, okay, you did that Lightning character in 13.1, now we're gonna take advantage of that to have you do the same kind. So you think they would take advantage of this to make the first ever wisecracking female cog, but no.
I think part of the issue of Lightning.
We can't have nice things.
I think part of the issue of Lightning in 13.1 was that also after that first cutscene, she kind of drops the whole wisecracking shtick and goes to this cold, stone-faced person who will leave a kid out in the wilderness if he can't keep up with her. And yet, apparently, she will still grow the hots for him somehow. Seriously,
even sort of even it's inconsistent even in its own game, because when we get the flashbacks to the Fable 13 days, when we see things like particular Lightning's birthday, and she goes for the whole worst birthday ever. It's inconsistent because she, in that moment, she has the personality that she has after Sarah gets crystallized.
Which doesn't really make much sense in the long run of things.
No, it doesn't. That game doesn't make sense, period. So.
Again, it just...
I love our Square solution, Toriyama's solution, for the sequel, instead of actually, ironing out the problems, and fixing what was wrong, was completely changed, but anyway.
One more step.
Oh, right, I forgot it. It's one of those minor narration after we pass from one door to the other cutscene.
Very good, too.
Seriously, I really don't get these.
It's
Well,
okay.
Remember, this is supposed to be a testimony, so they keep the narration going to reinforce the fact that it's a testimony.
I guess
but
what you means is like, what's the
idea...
point of the cutscene transitions?
Yeah, if you want the narration, have it happening while doing the gameplay normally. And considering the cutscenes are so small on their own, and they're clearly just to mask a loading screen, put the narration somewhere else.
I'm going to take an educated guess and say that they're pulling an elevator scene on us. Essentially, it's something meant to mask loading times, I'm guessing.
Yeah. It goes down to this. This game follows a very basic formula. Shooting section, narration, and occasionally interrupted with more elaborate cutscenes for the end of each testimony.
I'm curious.
Do rinse, repeat for 6 hours.
I'm curious, Pedro, when you're playing as other characters, do they also do the whole, they'll edit their testimony if they do a special task, or is that something exclusive to Baird?
No, it's although the way they do it, of course, depends on which character it is. But yeah.
Let me guess. In Sophia's case, as opposed to her trying to brag, it's more so her amending her testimony to make sure that it's factually correct.
I kind of. That's the thing, Jova. By the time when I got 40 stars, I stopped doing these things because, as you can tell, they're not exactly interesting or all that fun. So I got to a point. I think I stopped doing it after Cole because when I got 40 stars, I stopped doing it because I didn't care for any of the multiplayer rewards. I only cared about the one single player reward it does have. So whatever. There you go.
I have to wonder. I like Cole, but why is Cole here? Like, why did the writers decide to put Cole on Baird's team
if
when
you're not gonna have Cole act like Cole, why not just create a whole new character? I get that your 2 new characters are lackluster. Well, Paddock is kind of decent, but if you're not gonna have Cole act like Cole, why is Cole even here?
Not only that, but okay, sure, Baird and Cole have a lot of ventures later on in Gears 3, but it's not like the two really talked about, oh, the good old days here and there, so why even have Cole be within Baird's team if, the two didn't even really bring it up? Now, maybe if there was, like, some tragic backstory, which is why they don't talk about the old days, that would be, but as far as I know, everyone on their team survived, so it would have to be something very bad. And something tells me that the end of this game won't exactly have them taking a vow of silence on the matter.
Mm-hmm.
So I just asked...
Also, prize box.
Like, okay, again, why bother having Cole when you could do someone else, someone different, someone new? That's going to bite me in the butt, isn't it?
Shoot locust.
Look at the bad locals, Jova. Shoot the bad. And don't think about the story. You have the comics for that.
Okay. I guess I'll take okay. You'd think, considering they have a testimony dedicated to each character, you'd think they would take advantage of each testimony to, flesh out the character. Not so much. I'm not asking for a full-blown backstory. At the very least, give them some kind of an interesting, different personality. Again, what made the Delta Squad fun was the fact that all of them had distinct.
They're actually talking.
Oh.
Professor Elliot had a crush on me.
So you were like his assistant at some point?
Okay.
Yeah, Professor Elliot had a crush on Sophia, apparently. That's the thing, Tale. That's the thing, Tale. All of this dialogue, most of the dialogue in this game is just exposition. Like, we never actually get any proper, there's no one-liners. There's no...
Yeah, you think one thing they could take advantage of being a multiple testimony from different points of view is the fact that, like, Baird, in his own testimony, he overinflates how things are going on, but then in the next one we get to see the fact that he was just fucking up with the court, and instead, like, a couple of in-medias res type of stories that have multiple points of view kind of do this kind of trick.
Those
for the
ones are
cynical
definitely
comedy.
Interesting, yeah.
But no, I guess this game really didn't have the time or the budget to pull something like this.
Or the wit.
Well, again, I do want to argue if it was just a lack of time and budget for this one.
Oh, yeah, okay, to Tears' credit, I do get a sense of some of the wit here, especially when, you hear Baird. Like, Baird still sounds like the same kind of, wise guy that you would expect him to be. So maybe there's a chance that if given more time, the story and dialogue overall could have been better. Granted, 2 of these are new characters, and hey, Paddock isn't all bad.
The basic... Sophia is just here to be the token female character, basically.
Well, that and I guess the newbie, since she's the cadet.
Yeah, but that's the friend. Like, the game never really... Again, that whole thing about, Professor Elliot had a crush on me. Yeah, we never actually see Professor Elliot in this game. So,
Academy grounds.
Why should I care about that?
We'll have to protect it on the way out.
Bot, can you take us out of here?
Alright, let's continue. R&D labs.
There we go.
From there, we had to follow the bot off campus and make sure no one damaged him.
You know what that means? Escort
More
mission,
shooting. Oh,
kinda.
joy.
Our favorite.
Fortunately, it's not that difficult. As long as you're not picking your nose, you should be fine.
Monroe Commons? Okay.
And Theo, this is the part that I streamed for you, starting here, actually.
Alright.
So what were your first impressions when you were shown this game to you?
Not too, if I recall correctly, not too impressed, if that's what you mean. Like, I was actually having questions, of course, just to understand what was going, not what was going on, but in general, you know, understanding what this game was and everything, but no. Like, the only thing that I remember consistently is the fact that at some point Pedro sorta got soft locked, and I theorize it was because one of the enemies spawned like in part of the environment and therefore it wasn't showing properly.
Yeah, that is a good job. In order to move past each section in this game, you have to defeat all the locusts that are in the section. However, and Theo was there witnessing this, I got to the point where I killed all the locusts, and for some reason, the game will not trigger the next section. I searched and I searched for where the hell was the remaining locust. Eventually I gave up and I just restarted from the last checkpoint, and then I tried again, and this time it worked properly. Theo's fear is that the game spawned one of the locusts in between the walls, and that's why I couldn't find it. So basically, the game screwed me over.
Ouch.
But yeah, I
Okay,
remember
so,
now for this environment.
Okay, so we are going through this abandoned, hallowed hold with not lightning as our narrator.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna call this particular character Thunderclap, because that's like a couple of steps below lightning, which is what this character is apparently.
Beep boop.
She even has the same hair color, kind of like, well,
No,
lightning is really
lightning is bubblegum pink.
yeah,
definitely.
You're right.
What is it, little
This
guy?
is traditional
Something
rust
out there?
red.
Get ready to kill it.
There you go. See, that number is of course the bot's HP. So, and the HP to its credit doesn't decrease that quickly. So you should, again, as long as you don't pick your nose, you should be.
Wow.
When I was streaming this with Tail, like, it was actually my first playthrough that I was doing.
I think you tried the challenge as well. So.
I did, yeah. I was still in the process of trying to reach all 40 stars so I could unlock the aftermath campaign. Fun fact, the extra mini campaign is not DLC unlike the previous game, it's actually already included in the base game, you just have to unlock it. So that's nice, that's an improvement, I guess.
Wonderful.
Well, if it helps you, the aftermath campaign is basically what the DLC campaign of Gears 3 should have been. Basically, remember how we were going with, we were playing as both Marcus, Dom, Anya, and Sam forgot that ghost town in 3? Well,
yeah.
Baird and Cole were somewhere else doing something, right? Well, that's what the aftermath campaign of this game is for. So you'd think that would have been the DLC campaign of 3, right? But I guess not. We did it for this game.
Maybe it was actually made as a response for fan demand.
I guess, probably. Alright, and there's the statue from the title screen.
Get it? Because it's justice, the judgment of justice and shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we have a title drop.
But hang on, I gotta admit it. You know, I thought the Persona 5 comparisons would have stopped at the the whole the protagonists are telling the story of how they got there and all that stuff and narrating it as they do it. But now they got bloody Judgment Arcanas hanging about. I mean, what's next? What next? is one of the gang gonna yell out, "Oh, it's a good job no one knows we're members of the Beta Corps."
Oh my god, she actually laughed and made a clip. I think.
Don't get used to that. And it wasn't even a particularly good clip.
But, I mean, it's weird. That's like the first time she's acted this upbeat. Okay, Sophia?
When did this game come out?
Sophia, where did this...
2013.
Okay, Sophia, where did the more spunky side of you all of a sudden come from?
It was basically the last major first-party release for Microsoft.
Gotta have a theory, Joe, on that one. The fact that those are actually the standard gameplay lines she also has in the multiplayer mode. You know, when you just intercept with the storylines that she has for the campaign.
Well, that just makes it all the more jarring now, doesn't it, considering how she
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, okay, you might be right, Theo, but doesn't that kind of make it jarring considering, you know, how she's been acting story-wise as, you know, this more timid woman who either is hell-bent on following orders from the high command or protesting against how Baird does things.
Don't know what to tell you.
I was going to say, also in 2013, Ali Hillis was also in Ratchet and Clank Into the Nexus.
Yeah.
Is that the movie?
No. It's technically the last game Insomniac made for Ratchet and Clank before doing instead.
Reboot.
No. I'm talking also anything else because around the same time, if I recall correctly, or I think correctly before, they were making a game for EA, which was originally supposed to be called like Outbreak or something, and was supposed to have their usual cartoony charm, fun with the different color weapons and everything. But then Electronic Arts decided it wouldn't have sell enough, so they literally forced Insomniac to restart from scratch and tone it down to make it more serious and called it Fuse. Unsurprisingly, when it came out, nobody bought it, and it was a commercial flop and disaster.
Yeah, I think they were also making Sunset Overdrive.
Sunset Overdrive. But the idea is Into the Nexus was the last major Ratchet and Clank game before the reimagining of the first title.
I got 1,000 Lancer kills.
Yay!
Great.
That does something.
An achievement.
It gives you a sense of accomplishment, Joe.
Yes,
Yeah,
wow, that locust was literally right next to you and wasn't even aiming at you.
Not just achievements, Terry. It also serves to unlock extra perks in the multiplayer mode.
Okay, I don't know if it's just me, but the AI in this game feels a bit lacking at some points. Like
Again, it's clear that this game was a bit rushed.
Yeah, like compare how smart the AI could be in like Gears Flipping 3, and then you have this where you have enemies literally next to you who don't attack you.
So we're done then, right? For now, I think.
Let's just ignore
Well, not
the
right
people.
now. We're saving the game.
Let's just ignore the people who may be suffering over the comms, I guess. Like, seriously, was that just about a dialogue overlap that wasn't supposed to occur?
Yeah, it overlapped a bit.
So that-
Because if I press continue while the dialogue is still going on, the game kind of flips a bit.
So you kind of made it seem like Baird and Cole don't care a lick about the officers who are suffering over there. It's like, oh my god, we're being kicked off here, and then Cole's going like, oh, we done here? Baird's like, yeah, we're done. Oh god, they're tearing out my eyes!
Fight with pistols only.
No, thank you. I'm good.
Are you going to refuse all of these missions?
Well, dudes, I've already unlocked the Aftermath campaigns, and I don't care about the multiplayer, so no, I have no real reason to do these all day, outside of, I guess, intentionally frustrating myself. So, no.
Sure.
Alright, everybody, in the next part, we finish Sophia's testimony and we move on to Paddock.
So yeah.
See ya.
See
See
ya.
you then.